Right, I take it all notes in this.
No. Energy.
There's always one clever one.
Yeah.
So the question is, sir, where's your bleeding gas mask, which you know is an offence not to be out with, correct?
Correct.
Right. You like that? Would you like to hold my helmet? There you go. There you go. Right. Okay. The Air Raid Warden. ARP stands for, sir? Air Raid Precaution, that's right, not Air Raid Warden that I had on Tuesday. Air Raid Precaution. Precaution, as we all know, is spelt P-R-E-K-O-R-S-H-U-N, isn't it, love? That's how you spell precaution. By the way, Sue, do me a favour, what time of night is it?
Blackout.
Right, so why is the curtain unpulled?
No idea, I'll
Do you want to go and do it now?
I'll do it now.
Hurry up. As you know, you can see a shaft of light through a keyhole at 20,000 feet. Hurry up! You'd move quicker if there was a Nazi coming up your back passage. Now, come on!
I might try that.
ARP stands for Air Raid Precaution. The Civil Defence Volunteers was set up in 1926. Not many people joined. No one thought there was going to be another war, did we? 1938, on the other hand, when this poster comes out, oh yes, a lot of us join up. I'll get to why I joined up in a minute. When I join up, my equipment is a gas mask, my helmet, which the vicar is holding for me. Thank you very much, vicar. My armband and a whistle. With that, I'm going to take Hitler on. This is where I worked when I left school, age 13. I went to work at the Royal Arsenal in Woolwich. This is the trimmer shop. This is where I worked. I'm not allowed to join the army in 1914 because I have a certificate of exemption. Because I have a job that is too important to allow me to go off. However, October 1915, I didn't much like being bombed in the very first ever blitz of London. So I decided to join up. And as I worked in Woolwich and lived in Woolwich, I joined the Royal Field Artillery. Wonderful. Met my wife there as well. You can't see her, surprisingly. Not something you have trouble with now. There you go, she's going to get there now. You know her then, obviously. Strange girl, half French, only shaves under one arm. We won't know. She was a Canary girl, she's working in there. Obviously in 1915 they let the girls in. I thought, well, if the girls are coming in and working, I can go off. I joined up, I joined the Royal Artillery and I ended up working on one of them. The quick fire 18-pounder field artillery gun. What a wonderful piece of kit that is. Went out in 1917, saw action in Canberra, saw action in Arras, all the way through the last 100 days. 1919, narrowly escaped being sent out to Russia. Then got demobbed, went back to the Arsenal, which is where I still am. It's changed a bit. There you go, there's my office. At the back, I'm no longer in a trimmer shop, I'm now in the drawing office. This is part of the carriage department. And these here are gun barrels for something that was designed at the Royal Arsenal Woolwich in conjunction with the Vickers factory at Crayford. I am, of course, love referring to, on the tip of your tongue, there is the 6-pounder anti-tank gun. That's what you were going to say, weren't it? Don't lie. Yes, you were. There you go. Carriage department designed the anti-tank gun, the 6-pounder. I actually designed the carriage. I'm a clever boy, which is why I can't join the army. 1, I'm too old, and 2, reserved occupation. However, I thought, considering my experience of dealing with some very nasty things in World War I, this is quite a good job to do. Who's this? Adam. Right. Now, I have a small problem, but we won't go into that, will we? My problem is that I have a cat, my cat Henry. My cat Henry is now the most hated cat on the road. Do you want to know why, sir? Cat looks like Hitler, that's why. He's calling Hitler now. I hate cats. I went out the other night, love, I looked up and I thought, why is that bomb getting bigger? And of course, then it hit me. Anyway. 1st of September 1939, the Germans, as you know, invade Poland. Not all of it, obviously, but there you go, that's not the German army, there they are invading Poland. And on the 3rd of September, this guy, who I actually feel very sorry for, has to go on the radio and spoil my Sunday lunch. All of a sudden, at 12 o'clock on the Sunday lunchtime, I'm just about to sit down with roast lamb, and I end up being told by him I'm back at war again. You can't blame him for wanting to stop a war. After all, it's only 21 years since the last one. We don't really want to go through that again, do we, sir? Men blinded by gas. You see, in those days, we're just going to use gas on each other's soldiers. Now, in 1939, we have the ability to drop gas from an aircraft. Now, you lot are the target, not just the soldiers. Who's going to look after you lot? Me. I'm God on your street. My Warden Patrol, we have an area that encompasses about 500 people. My job is to know where all of you live. Did you know that? I have to be intimate with every one of your houses, every alleyway, every back passage. No, that's not a euphemism, love. If there's a paint store down the road, I need to know if that's going to get hit. I need to know what's going to happen. If there's a woodyard down the road, I need to know. If there's a petrol station down the road, I need to know. What number house do you live at, miss?
2.
And how many people live in your house?
2.
2. So if you decide to go away and to escape the bombing, how many people are living in your house now?
1.
No, if both of you gone away. Please don't tell me you were maths. I was using the royal. Right, so you tell me, because if your house gets bombed, I'm not going to go rooting around your house looking for you when I find out you're not there. How many live in yours, mate?
2.
And if your Auntie Nellie comes, how many have we got now?
3.
Right, I need to know if your house is it. I'm looking for 3, not 2. I need to know everything. Right, here's my patrol. As you can see, we are kitted out here. I'm obviously the one taking photograph. Right, we are wearing our oilskins because we know that the Germans could possibly use an aerosol dispense mechanism to drop gas. Okay, we have our rattle and we have our bell. Anyone know what this does? This is for? Gas. You hear that, you got 14 seconds to get your gas mask on. I will show you how to do that. I'm the guy who's issued you your gas mask. You see, everyone says that we are unprepared for war. If we're unprepared for war, how comes every man, woman and child in this country has a gas mask by the end of 1938? There was more air raid wardens killed and the ARP suffered more casualties than any other branch of the civil defence volunteers. There was about 2 million civil defence volunteers by the end of the war. Their jobs were numerous. They were formed a lot earlier than people think, but the main recruitment drive was in 1938, and they're responsible for the safety and maintaining safety for an area of population in their local area. So a Warden Patrol will be responsible for the safety and welfare of about 500 civilians. Hi there, my name is Steve Hookins. I'm a MOD Ministry of Defence civil servant, and I have been for 27 years. And currently I work at the Royal Artillery Museum in Woolwich as part of the curatorial team. In 2014 I formed my own private company called SHHP, Steve Hookins Historical Presentations, where I do a mixture of 45-minute long presentations on Waterloo, the role of women in World War I, called Woolwich Women at War, the Air Raid Warden one, which is why I'm dressed as I am now, called Meet Mr Warden, and this year I released one for the Somme, called To Wilhelm with Love. The Air Raid Warden talk came out of an education programme that I wrote for the Royal Artillery Museum education programme in 2010, and I didn't want it to be based on Dad's Army. It had to be based on a real live Air Raid Warden. My granddad was one. So I decided to come up with an educational programme based around the life of a man who lives and works in Woolwich, who's too old to fight, is in a reserved occupation, but during the night does a job that everyone has heard about, but not many people actually know what they did. So I created the character of Mr Warden, and on the back of that I wrote a book to support the education programme, and I now do a presentation called Meet Mr Warden, which means I can go out to local historical society groups, or groups such as the 1940 Society, and do a more adult version, and then hopefully an entertaining version of it. Started this year with 23 talks on the books, but I've been doing the Mr Warden school programme for over 5 years. I end my MOD career very, very soon in April, and I hope by September to be taking a travelling education version of this to local schools in around Crayford, Dartford, Greenwich, Bexley, and hopefully the North Kent area. If you want to find out more about where I am and what I'm doing, I have a website which is www.stevehookins.co.uk. If you just type my name on Google, you'll find me, but it gives you an opportunity to see photographs of me in action, a film of me working with the Arsenal under-19s 2 years ago on a battlefield tour, and you can learn more about my presentations, what I do, and also some of the battlefield tour work that I do as well.